Today's show is proudly sponsored by Rio, the premium activewear brand that's dedicated to making you feel your very best and your most authentic self. Use code INTUNE10 for 10% off your order today. Hey guys, and welcome back to the Intune podcast, where we discuss the music that makes us mindful. Today's guest is a Grammy-nominated songwriter and vocal producer. She's written for artists such as Justin Bieber, Ariana Grande, Celine Dion, BB Rexa, Teddy Swims. The list goes on. I'm so excited to have her here, Whitney Phillips.
I am forever changing. I don't mind rearranging. You've got to crawl before you walk. Routines I never bother, 'cause my mind can change by the hour, and I can live without a clock. Oh, don't you worry about me. Oh, 'cause I'm right where I should be. I'm doing just fine. Gonna paint my walls with my own design.
I haven't seen you in like 10 years.
A long time.
So excited.
I know, I'm excited.
That you're here.
We're matching denim moments.
I feel like we
meant to
both
be.
understood the assignment today.
Always.
I feel
Always.
like I immediately thought of you and was like, matching denim.
Really?
I don't know why.
Yes.
It's for no reason other
No,
than
it's
that's
for a
what
reason.
I thought.
I give Canadian tuxedo often. It's like once a week. I'm in it.
Serving Canadian tuxedo at every occasion
This
possible.
is like probably on the more obnoxious side of it, but I felt obnoxious today. So here
I
I
love
am.
that. You got to
Yeah.
dress for the mood of the day. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I've been like honestly watching your career, obviously, since we both wrote on this like one song. I feel like we've written like a couple of songs, but like only the one got placed
Yeah.
forever ago. But I've been following your career since, and I have been absolutely loving watching you just fly. It's been so inspiring.
Thanks, babe.
And amazing.
Thanks.
And I'm so happy that you're here.
Thank you. Thanks
Yeah.
for having me. No, I hadn't
Girl.
seen you in so long. I just moved to Nashville. You're here.
Yeah.
I'm like, let me go see my girl.
I cannot be happier. When you posted something like I moved to Nashville, I was like, oh my God.
Well, see, I haven't posted that. I've just, I haven't actually said the words, I have moved to Nashville.
Yeah.
Except for
You
here.
got one
I guess
foot in
I'm
the door.
breaking.
Oh my God.
No.
You've heard it here first, guys.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But I do.
I'm so excited though, even if we get you for just like a little bit, because I was like, oh yes.
So we wrote a song for ITZY, right?
Yeah.
Do you have it? Is there any chance that you have it?
On right now? Oh my God. No, I think
Because
Antonio
I don't
has my
remember
phone.
it. What was it called?
So we wrote it originally for Iconopop because we were trying to do like a ton of songs for them.
Okay, and this was what year? Do you think?
Oh my God.
You have to forgive me. I don't
No,
remember
you've written
anything.
so many.
I don't remember anything before like 2020.
Yeah, no, it was far before 2020. I feel like it would have to have been like
13 or 14.
Yeah, 2013 to 2015
Yo, I'm so
area.
old. That's crazy.
We're aging ourselves.
Yeah, dressing like a teenager.
Little LA babies running around writing music.
Totally.
But yeah, I think it was called we wrote it originally as Money, I think.
Yes. Okay, that was a good song.
Yeah.
That was a good song. I remember that.
And then I think they renamed it because it's a K-pop song now, Want It ?
Totally.
It still rocks though.
Yeah, no, that's
I'll show it to you
right.
after.
Okay.
Everybody go stream our song.
Okay. Yeah, let's get the numbers up for a decade-old song. Let's do it.
I think it did okay. I think it did pretty well, actually. So I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out when they send me like an invoice or whatever. I'm still trying to figure out like how
aren't we
to
all?
do the money changes in another country.
Right, honey.
It's embarrassing.
I kind of like blindly just like turn a cheek to it because I know like if I really dive into it, I'll be like, it'll be so time consuming and I'll be like so appalled. So I don't know.
I've done
There's
it. There's
organizations that collect abroad and I need to contact them. Oh my God. I need to do that. Thanks for the reminder.
You're so honestly,
I've had a lot going on.
Nothing will make you feel like less intelligent than trying to figure something like that.
No, I mean, listen, I stay in my lane. I'm like, but yeah, I let other people settle that stuff for me.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have written for some of my favorite artists of all time.
Really?
Like, okay, so everyone already knows I love Ariana.
Yes.
But
And?
Celine.
Yeah.
You said yes, and I love that you just...
Yo, I'm dying at yes and, but the remix.
Oh,
Bye.
Mariah and Ariana. We've been waiting for that though.
Yeah.
I feel like collectively as the world,
Yeah.
we've all just been like, when are they gonna do something?
The whistle off that they do. We probably didn't need it, but we did. We needed it.
I always needed it.
Yeah.
Now we know it's possible.
Yes.
And I can never go back.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh my God. So you wrote Stuck With You, right?
Yes, Stuck With You.
And that was like Billboard top #1, like Billboard
Yep.
top 100 #1.
Yep.
Like, girl,
crazy.
you have been busy.
Yeah, well that was 2020. That was a crazy moment for sure.
Yeah.
Celine was before that. But since then I continued to work with Justin on his on the Justice album, which was awesome.
Which one? I can't remember which one you wrote on there, but I remember it being good, and I think of you every time I hear it.
It's called Love You Different.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that was one of my favorite ones on that album, to be honest.
We loved it. It was just like a fun little rhythmic bop, for the album. So no, I love that song.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Girl, your writing has always been amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know you had me come and do like some demo work for you one day, and I was like, this girl's writing is next level.
Did I?
Yeah, I ended up going to Warner, and we worked with I can't even remember who it was. But you were like, can you hit this like high note for me, please? And I was like,
that sounds about right.
I was like, yeah, okay.
I know. I'm like, no, that sounds about right. I kind of like know when I've written a song that's a little out of my range, which is
like
often.
I know you can sing, so
I can sing, but like I stay in my lane. Like I know I try to be aware of when I've written a song that I need another vocalist for.
Yeah.
And I think that the art of pitching is like completely an art in and of itself, aside from songwriting. So I mean, Stuck With You, my girl Blush, she cut the demo. We were in quarantine at the time. It was like a week into the pandemic, which is just nuts that it was like my first Zoom session. But we wrote this huge hook, and I was voice noting the demo, and Gian was like piecing it together for like I was just sending him voice notes.
Oh my gosh.
And I honestly found the folder of voice notes, and I was like, hats off to Gian that he didn't just like burst out laughing, which he probably did. Shout out Gian.
He shut off the camera for a second.
Yeah, he probably did, honestly. I'm sure there was a phone call of like, we can't fucking use this. No. But to me, they were like, I think we're going to get like another person to cut it. And I was like, 100% good idea. Like I have no ego when it comes to my vocal, because I've always been a songwriter first. And like a vocalist kind of last,
But you started as an artist. Like that's how you kind of got into all of this too. So when was like the moment for you where you were just like,
we're not doing this anymore?
Let me just do songwriting. That's my first love. Like where did you go with like what happened there for you?
I mean, it's funny because I was just talking about this in a separate interview. I had like a literal like come to Jesus moment. Like I was in my bed. I had been like recording and doing studio stuff, and I was hustling. I was waitressing or waiting tables. I was interning at the labels. I was performing at like any showcase that would have me. I mean, I was truly like doing the most. And nothing was happening. And I was just like, what the fuck? And of course I'm like 21 and I'm like, I'm so old. Like it's never gonna happen, And I had this moment where I was just concerned that I wasn't headed in the right direction. And something always felt very unnatural to me about what I was doing. And I really couldn't put my finger on it. But I had this moment when I was laying in bed. I'm 21 years old. And I remember it was like my room was completely moonlit. And I was like, I just said a prayer. And I was like, God, like, if you want me to be a truck driver in this life, and that is your purpose for me, I'll do it. Just show me what I need to do in order to like fulfill my purpose on this planet. I want to be an artist. I want to be an artist. But if that's not it, change my footsteps.
I have chills.
No, it was, I mean, I still remember it. It was a very vivid moment in my life. And 2 weeks later, I met my first songwriting partner, Kevin, who I went to college with.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and we formed this writing group, and back then it was like very hot to like have your own name for
your writing group.
Yeah. So we were
what was the name? Yeah.
Girl, we were called Paper Cuts with a Z.
Oh my god.
Yes. It was amazing.
Shout out to Paper
Shout out
Cuts.
Paper Cuts. Shout out Kevin. I was like probably a nightmare to deal with for many years. We had so much fun, but those were such like primitive years of songwriting, because we didn't know what we were doing. We just knew that songwriting was a thing, and we were gonna like point, aim, and shoot and just try to do the thing.
Yeah.
So that was like the start of our own hustle as songwriters. And I'm so grateful for him because we were really in it together, and I was in the trenches with him. But once we kind of got going and I understood that this was like a real profession I could have, I didn't give a fuck about singing. I didn't care. I was like, this is it. And I'm good at this. And I'm a conversationalist. It's hitting all the points for me. Yeah. I get to sing the demo. That's enough. And I hate performing. Yeah. I hate it. Like, can't stand it.
Yeah. It's funny because my sister, I have a younger sister, she is exactly like that. Mm-hmm. And she'll come out the gate with these crazy songs. And I'm like, yeah, girl. And for a while we were like, let's do like a sister like group or whatever. And she and I had so much fun doing it. Mm-hmm. But then she came to me and was just like, I'm really scared to tell you that I just like really hate performing. I don't want to be on stage. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, no way in the world am I going to make her ever get up there. But I'm like, but if you ever stop writing music, even if it's just for you, like I'm going to be so upset.
For me, like performing, I tried to put my finger on it for so long. I'm like, why do I hate this? Like, what, you know what I mean? Like, why do I hate this so much? And I would get so nervous. And I was like, am I just nervous? Is it just like a fear thing? Do I need to look past it? But that didn't really make sense because I had no problem like talking in front of people. I had no problem like singing in the studio. Yeah. I think I just didn't believe myself. As an artist.
I completely understand that sentiment. I feel like a lot of artists too get placed in these boxes where, first of all, they walk. It's just like such a bigger conversation. I feel like, first of all, I feel like people in general think that the only way into music is to be the artist when you're younger, because that's what you see, and you don't realize that there's so much more going on in the background.
Totally.
So many young people out there are like, I have to be the artist. And then I feel like so many of them are thinking, that's not really what I want, but like that's, if I want to do music, that's the option. Yeah. You teach it or you're the artist.
Totally. Well, and I think like 100%, like when I was a teenager, I was like, Britney Spears or bust. Like we're going to fucking do this,
Absolutely.
But I think that conversation that I referenced for me, it was, I stayed away from that conversation because to me, in my mind, that was defeat. Mm-hmm. Being a songwriter was like saying, I didn't make it. It was a confession and a like very conscious forfeit. Yeah. But it wasn't. It was the main fucking path the whole time. And when I had I think courage to like look that conversation in the eye. Yeah. I surrendered to what I was actually meant to do in this life, and I couldn't be happier, and I couldn't imagine living the life of an artist. I work with these people. I don't want their life.
It's rough.
I love them. They're having a lot of fun, but they're made for it.
Yeah.
I'm not made for that.
Yeah. I think it's such an amazing thing that you were able to like stop yourself even at the young age of 21 to be like, listen, this isn't for me. And even the fact that you said, I just didn't believe myself, that's such a huge conversation. Like there are artists out there who maybe are meant for it too, that don't believe themselves because they're not in the right genre, or they're being led down a path like that isn't like what they want to talk about, things like that. Yeah. So I think that's so interesting that you brought that up, because I think there's something very unique about being like, wow, I just don't believe myself. I do believe myself when I'm writing for other people. I do believe the lyrics that I'm writing, the melodies that I'm writing, but I just don't want to be the one to deliver them. That is such a, like, honestly, that is such a special thing to be able to do and to be able to give to the world. And I just really, especially on this podcast, I want people to know, like, the other spaces in music are so important. And, like, such cool jobs, such amazing lifestyles. Like, you get to still, like, vibe and, like, go to the mall if you want, do the things that you want to do, like, not have to worry about the artistry of it, and then just be, like, walking in and being like, listen, but, like, I'm going to gift you these amazing lyrics that I have, and just have this great success. I think that's so cool.
Now, have I done, like, a couple DJ features that I regret or that I'm happy for? Yeah, like, I came into the game as a songwriter. Like, my first cut ever was with Lil Wayne, and they asked me to stay on that record. And that was like, I was waiting tables, and the co-writers of the song called me and they were like, Lil Wayne's cut a verse on our song and he wants you to stay on it.
Stop it.
And I was like, I mean,
which song is this?
It's called Hello. You probably don't know.
Well, I'm about to know it.
Yeah. So I was going to stay on it, and then they were going to put it out with this Australian DJ duo called the Stafford Brothers, who were a new signing to Cash Money.
Cool.
And that was like a whole conversation, and they were like, we're going to do a video and all this. And I was like, no. Which I look back and I'm like, bitch, like, you should have just done it. It would have just came and gone. But whatever, like, in that moment for me, like, that was the path. Like, I kind of knew in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, we're doing a video, then I'm probably going to do more features that are in the DJ world. And like, like, I'd probably be fucking rich and famous or something. But like, I probably would have been successful in a different way much faster, instead of like having this 10-year career that built up to that moment. But I did it my way.
Yes, girl. She's gonna quote all of the lyrics.
Frank Sinatra, I believe. Get me out of here.
Okay, Ariana Grande, Frank Sinatra. We're gonna count them.
Yeah,
we're gonna do a drinking game.
Yeah. I don't drink anymore, but I drink this. My Recess.
Those are so good.
Sponsorship, maybe?
Recess, sponsor us, sponsor her.
Yeah, I love these. They calm me down.
They are very calming.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Them. They're the best.
I love that. Yeah, we're always looking for sponsors on here. That's so awesome though. So you quit drinking how long ago? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I quit drinking like 7 months ago. Okay. Maybe 8 months ago.
It's been happening a lot and I'm kind of loving it.
It is. Yeah, people are like, why did you quit? I wasn't like face down in a ditch or anything, but well, maybe close to it. No, I felt like it was just kind of not serving me anymore. And last year was a tough year. I mean, I was confronted with like the industry changing a lot. I didn't want to be in LA anymore. I had some like, I let go of a manager at the time that was not a good situation for me. And it was a really confronting year.
Yeah.
And so alcohol was not doing me any favors.
Yeah. It's good to walk into things with a clear mind, I think.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, even having this move to Tennessee has been like, I'm just so happy that I'm more awake for it all.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
How have you been finding Tennessee? I'm so curious.
Yeah. Well, I was coming here so often, so I was really familiar with the city.
Yeah.
It's small.
Oh yeah.
Yo, whoa. If there's something to find out, you're finding out today.
Quick. Yesterday. Somebody told you yesterday.
Whoa. I'm like, there's a lot of shit I probably wouldn't have known had I stayed in LA. It's small. It's a really small community. I think you have to be like a really like thorough communicative person to like thrive here and be really genuine.
Yep.
I love it though.
Yeah.
It's charming. It's the change of pace that I really called into my life.
Yeah.
So I just, there's only so many cities where you can like write songs and also build like a solid personal life.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to move to Miami.
No.
I would die.
Yeah. It'd be hard to quit drinking in
Yes, 100%. New York, I just kind of knew there wouldn't be enough work in New York for me. And then I wasn't going to go abroad. So
yeah,
it's Nashville.
Nashville, baby.
Nashville, and I'm happy
Nashville.
so far.
That's good.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm so glad you're here. I think the more that you're here, like the longer that you're here.
Yeah.
the
Tell me,
more-
put me on to
No,
Nashville. What do I need to know?
What I'm gonna say is like the more that you're here, the more you actually fall in love with it.
Oh.
Because I've moved here originally for the second time after LA when I really needed a change.
Yeah.
But my sister had been going to school here for music production at MTSU. So I was like, I'm
Nice.
going to be far enough away from her, but close enough where like, you know, all my friends who do production here and that are moving here from LA, like I'll like link her up and then
Yeah.
she won't have to like do that part herself. But she ended up going into video editing and production instead, which is awesome.
Nice.
But it's so funny like how that switched over. But I'm telling you, I moved here like for that reason and to be like, hey, I just need a new start.
Yeah.
But 2020 hit really hard
Yeah.
right when I first moved here, and I had to definitely deal with a lot of my own demons
Yeah, for
during those
sure.
first couple of years. And I was like bartending and I was exhausted
Okay,
and
yeah.
I was making more money than I'd ever made, but I was like the least happy I've ever been.
Yeah.
And then I came upon these amazing, amazing human beings who are my friends now.
Amazing.
And we all just kind of made a pact to like, let's get into a group. Let's make ourselves do the things that we talk about doing.
Cool.
And let's lift each other up and scream each other's names in all the rooms.
Yes.
And it works. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. And all of us are just like hustling, working hard
It's awesome. Here in Tennessee.
here in Tennessee.
Amazing.
And I don't know if I ever really found that in LA when I was there. So
It's tough. I mean,
Yeah.
listen, I love LA.
So do
I
I.
lived there for more of my life than I did anywhere else. I grew up there, you know, like I was born and raised in Seattle, but like I learned how to be like a person in
Yeah.
LA, and learned how to just build the reality that I wanted.
yeah.
So I love that city. It's fun. Anything is possible. I love the
Yeah.
weather. I have some great friends there from college, waiting tables, the music industry.
Yep.
There's a lot to love. But
Yeah.
for me, I always equate LA to like living in a casino.
Low key, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm like, every day I just wake up and I'm like, what are we going to bet on? You know? And
Yeah.
like, maybe today's the day I'm going to like
Yeah.
hit it big. And when it pays off, it's huge.
Yeah.
But you spend a lot of your time gambling your time and your resources
Yeah.
away for things that aren't necessarily like moving the needle in your life.
Yeah.
And so I had this like zoom out moment of just like, yo, like I could, this could be my life forever.
Yeah.
And I was driving down Melrose and I don't know where I was going. I think I was driving home probably. And I flashed back to like 10 years prior and it felt like yesterday.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, like the passage of time in a city like this is just,
So fast.
it's so fast.
Yeah.
And it was so scary to feel that. Cause I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God, like I want to be personally growing at the same speed of my career.
Yeah. I remember, I love LA too. I
Yeah.
love the, like you said, the weather. I love that you can hike and go to the beach in the same day.
Yeah.
I loved like the health benefits.
great.
like I was so
My
healthy.
stomach is rumbling. Is that a problem?
Totally fine.
I miss LA. Yeah.
But yeah, like it definitely had all of these beautiful things that contributed. But when people say, "Oh my God," and you were there for 6 years, I'm like, was I there for 6 years?
Yeah.
Like it just feels like that.
Totally.
But yeah, like I came here and I had written like, I want to say over like 200 songs that were almost fully produced.
Cool.
And only one of them really got placed. And I was like you're saying, you're like placing bets on things. And like people are like constantly telling you like, this is going to go here. This is going to go there, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh yeah, okay, cool. And then it doesn't. And then it doesn't. And then it doesn't.
Yeah.
And you're just like, what in the world? But here it's been interesting because somebody's like, hey, I want to do this for this person. Here's the thing. And then it just happens, you know? And like, nobody's like trying to really pull it, like,
Interesting.
you know what I mean? Anything there. And if there is not anything that's going to come of it, they're not going to waste your time like that.
Yeah.
They'll be like, that's probably not going to do much, you know?
I feel like that's kind of the nature of songwriting, and I don't think that's ever going to change.
No.
Like my job is to kind of like shoot a dart in the dark and like hit
Yeah.
the bullseye, you know? So that's, I don't know. And there's always a gamble with
Yeah.
what I do. And I'm sick. Like I love that, you know? I'm like,
You're like, I've hit a lot of like,
yeah, I mean, there's a little masochism that I think comes with this job, and if you don't enjoy it on
Yeah.
a level, you're probably not going to like songwriting as a whole.
True. Yeah.
But I accepted that. I was just like, okay, if I can't change this element of my life, how can I create my reality to fulfill me in other ways where I have more sure bets of how to be happy?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just didn't see it for me long term in LA, but girl, I've been back 3 times this year. It's been a month. Like, I'm always there. So
it's awesome to have the freedom to do that though.
Yeah,
and that'll probably always be there for you. You know, you can just jump back and forth and do your thing
until I have a bunch of kids and call it a day.
That's right.
You know?
She said, all right, I did what I did.
I did what I did and I said what I said.
I love it. What makes you happy? Like, what does your day look like? Like your perfect day where you're like, I got up and I did everything that I love. Like, what does that look like for you?
Perfect day is, I need a lot of like time in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wake up kind of like, around like 7. And then I have like 2 hours of coffee time to myself. Ugh.
Man.
Chefs, I know. I'm such a spoiled little bitch.
No, listen, that sounds so good.
Oh my God, I love it.
That is goals.
But like, to my credit, like I'm a creative, like processing my life is so fucking important.
Yeah.
Like I can't even, my alone time is like so vital to me.
Yeah.
And my work. Like if I'm not taking time to just like process the tornado that's going on around me, like, then I don't have anything to write about, you know? And so coffee time in the morning is a must. I'd like to tell you I hit the gym right away, but girl, that's just not the truth.
Yeah.
I think about going to the gym for a good 30 minutes.
Love it.
Every day.
Every day. We think about the gym.
And that's
every
hard
day.
to do.
It is.
You know?
You get a mind workout.
Yeah. So that burns calories. Then I usually have a meeting in the morning. And it's funny because my life in Nashville and my life in LA are different. Like it starts so early here.
It really does.
And I have more of a personal life on the back end of the day.
Yeah.
But I like to do something, you know, yes, I will sometimes work out, but I always try to do like, I'm annoying. I am a cold plunger and a sauna girl.
See, we were just talking about this with one of our other guests, and they were like all in about it.
Gotta
like
do it.
every day, like that's what they do. I'm so intrigued.
Yeah, I'm a 5 days a week.
Do you have like the tub for it, or do you like?
Yeah, so I go to
somewhere.
I've been driving to Franklin.
Okay.
In LA, I went like a couple blocks away,
Yeah.
but I've been going to this place in Franklin, but they're opening up a spot in the Gulch, which
That'll
is where
be
I
amazing.
live. So
yes.
I love it. I mean, I think that and like not drinking has increased my just mental strength and my emotional strength.
Yeah.
And I've just shown myself like I can do hard things.
Yeah.
You know? And
that's amazing.
Yeah. Cold plunge is sauna's great because it just kind of like detoxes you and you just feel really good. Mm-hmm. But hitting that cold plunge for like 10 minutes when you're already cold, you don't feel like it. You want to go home. It really does something to you, to your spirit.
My friend who lives down the street from here, her roommate just got like a cold plunge tub for their backyard.
Sick.
And she was like, come over every day with me and do this. And I was like, I will, but I'm not going to be happy about it.
Yeah. I'll give you like my whole routine. You got to do like reps.
Okay.
And then you have to bring yourself, this is like, anybody watching this is like, she's so annoying with the cold plunge. It's like people that talk about CrossFit.
Yeah.
It's that.
Listen,
I'm giving.
I'm friends with those people too.
Yeah, I am not. But yeah, no,
I am not one of those people.
No, but I am happy to be that girl because I love it so much. But I'll give you my whole, my routine.
Please do, because I'm going to need, I need to do this now because you are like the probably 5th person to tell me that it's like really helped them. Yeah. So I'm just like, all right, let's go. Let's do it. Yeah. Let's see what happens.
It's a vital part of my day. Doing something creative is a vital part of my day. Obviously, I'm in sessions all the time.
Yeah.
And then honestly, I'm so social here in Nashville in a way that I wasn't in LA, and it's feeding me. Like there's so much more community here.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So I try to see my friends or,
It's very, and you came here already having friends. So
yeah,
that's
I had a lot of acquaintances,
awesome.
because just from writing. But now I feel like the last 3 months I'm building like really solid friendships that
it's really good. It's so much easier to do here because people
you
kinda
can
show,
see them. You actually can see each other.
and everything's so close.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. And like you said, like, even like in the dating world here and everything, you'll just be like, okay, I'm going to go on this date or whatever. And then like immediately one of your friends is like, do not go on a date with that person. Or like, this is their track record.
Or babe,
just
maybe
in
your
case.
friend's even dating him.
Yeah, honestly, low key, like people are like, oh,
sip it.
yeah, glad you told me because
Yeah.
But it's kind of wild, and it is funny because there are people running around here thinking that like nobody's gonna find out, and I'm like, maybe in LA where you can start a like whole whole life with another family like two blocks away because there's so much, but here, no.
I wouldn't want to be a guy here.
No.
If I was like a player, I wouldn't want to be a guy
No,
here.
it's bad news bears.
If I was thought about this. If I was a guy, I think I would be a player. As a woman, like I don't know.
Where are you going?
I don't know. If I wouldn't call myself a player, but like I definitely am like I like my options, but like I'm very monogamous and everything. But I was thinking if I was a guy, I would probably be like kind of a piece of shit. And I maybe like a retired player, like somebody that like grew out of it.
Right.
And in Nashville, I just don't know. Like I was trying to put myself in the shoes of these guys the other day, and I'm like, you were either completely like detached from reality, or you just are so audacious that to cheat in a city like this.
It's a little bit of both, I think.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I
Hopefully
do
that
realize
never
like
has to happen,
LA,
but-
they really like a lot of them like take care of themselves, maybe to the too much point, and then here they're just like, I'm relaxed. I do what I want. Like,
yo, I have never seen so many dudes that are like respectfully are like a 4 or 5. Like, don't work out. Wear a wife beater in public, babe.
with the most beautiful woman.
With an 11.
What is happening?
How is this happening? It's the sweetest deal. It's the
Respectfully.
sweetest deal. Respectfully a 4. Like, no, but shout out to them. Like I think it's that confidence of like, this is me and I'm going to be your man.
Yeah,
that girls are like, oh,
it's
he
like,
knows.
okay, all right.
Yeah, I think girls like actually kind of respect that of like, he
and like
knows
a lot
the
of
way.
them are musicians and they're like, I'm gonna let my voice and my guitar playing carry me.
Now, that being said, I have seen some dudes around here that are like 11s
Oh,
themselves.
100%.
I'm like, I mean, they're
100%.
tall out here. They got the beard. Like,
they're really
there's a lot of
coming
boxes.
into just like we're all kind of coming in from LA. They're really showing
Yeah.
up. So
It's rolling
we're
in.
getting a nice mix now.
Yeah.
I always like to snag them though before like Nashville has like made them crazy, because I
Okay.
feel like a lot of guys are like, oh, these girls are crazy, and I'm like, no, you just were like downtown in the bars,
Right.
and you found the crazy one.
Oh my God. I don't even know how this happened, but on Super Bowl Sunday, I ended up at fucking Barstool.
No.
Like, I don't even know how I got there. I do, but I won't tell you. And I was just, me and my friend, we were just like surrounded by people that were like literally like 10 years younger than us.
Yep.
But we just surrendered to the moment and had the best time ever.
I love when that happens.
Oh my God.
I think you just gotta let it happen here. Like, don't make it the habit, but like
No.
definitely like let the moments happen like that,
Yes.
because that's how you experience the
Yes.
crazy here, and that's how you kind of get like the life and be a part
Yeah.
of it. Like I always say, if you haven't had those moments here and you're just strictly in the
No.
studio writing, like it's not, you didn't experience it yet.
Right.
You know?
I love an experience.
Yeah. It's so funny because those bars are coming up so quickly now. And I was laughing because I was driving down the street the other day and I looked in one of the windows, and my friend who DJs, he was just like, his face was on the thing, and I was just like, whoa. What's up, bud? Like, nice picture, snap. Like,
Yeah.
send it to him.
Yeah.
But
No,
it's so funny.
It was a wild experience. I definitely won't make a habit of it, but I needed to go down there and just see.
Oh, yeah.
I needed to see what I'm
Oh, yeah.
not missing out on, I guess.
I mean,
But
it's
we had
like-
a blast. Not
It's
gonna lie.
fun. It's fun when you have people visiting,
Yeah.
but like, it's just like, it ends up being exhausting at some
Yeah.
point or another.
I'll be back.
We'll all be back. There's a reason that street is successful.
Yes. Totally.
But yeah, no, Barstool's awesome. Just super fun people work there, and it's a good environment for sure. So it definitely is a vibe. Oh my gosh. Okay, so on Intune, I told you a little bit about this, but we like to ask questions about songs that are really nostalgic to you. Do you have one that like immediately pops into your head where you're just
so many?
I know.
I have so many. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm pretty open about my love for Mariah Carey, and I just am obsessed with her. When the Butterfly album was just sprinkled with songs where I was just like, kind of changed songwriting for me.
Yeah.
It took this pop star and put her in kind of like an R&B, rhythmic, almost like hip hop space. Like she had this collaboration from Bone Thugs on there. She was working with Jermaine Dupri all over the album. The song Breakdown on that album was just, I loved the chords. I mean, I remember being, oh God, it must have been, I was a young girl. I don't remember how old. And I won't say how old.
You're still a young girl.
Yes, I am. But no, I was probably like in elementary school. And I just remember closing the door to my room and just listening to that album on repeat. But Breakdown especially, just the songwriting, how personal she was. I just fell in love with it.
Yeah.
And Bone Thugs too on the record was the first time I had really heard like to me, like Mariah invented the hook singer. Like she paved the way for like the Ashantis of the next season. And so it was the first time I had heard those genres kind of fused together like that.
Absolutely.
Obsessed.
Yeah.
And I really always gravitated towards songs and groups that did that. I mean, Outkast, I was obsessed with. That was hip hop, but it was like, it was different. That was like aliens to me.
Yeah.
Sonically, I was like, what am I listening to?
Yeah.
Like I remember when I was in high school or maybe junior high, I heard ATLians.
Oh.
And I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
And it was a what is this moment. Fell in love with Outkast. That was like an era for me.
Yeah.
And when I first started songwriting, I actually ripped the track. I found the instrumental of ATLians and just started writing songs over it.
Oh my gosh.
And that was the first, and it was like sick because I was like writing
Honestly.
pop songs over hip hop tracks or whatever. And it was so cool.
Like what an amazing, I don't even know if you realized like you were doing like such a good exercise as a songwriter.
Yeah, totally.
Just like, yeah, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
You can kind of try different things on the same track.
Yeah.
I think that's really also always a really fun thing.
I think I settled on one.
You did.
It was called Illusion.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I fell in love with Incubus. I loved Incubus for the same reasons. I felt like they were a hybrid of rock and hip hop a little bit. Wish You Were Here. When I that song was on repeat when I moved to LA.
Yeah.
And that was like, that felt like open air to me. I'm like the
Totally.
beach with Brandon Boyd's voice just blasting through the speakers.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm like 18 years old, just moving to LA. I'm like, this is it.
Yep. I love that.
Yeah. So probably those.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. I have a few LA
Yeah.
songs.
What are
like,
yours?
I have too many. But I think I told you like right before this, I was like, I always freeze up and say the same one. So I'm going to try and say some different ones. Yeah. Okay. So you know that one song that's like I think it's like Daft Punk and is it Pharrell maybe? It's like Up All Night to Get Lucky.
Yeah.
That was playing
Whoa,
the first year that I moved to LA.
Oh my God.
And so no matter what, when I hear that song, I can like feel the like sunlight in LA.
Cool.
Like it just like hit me at the right time.
Yeah.
So that one was definitely one for me. I would say Carrying Your Love With Me with George Strait from when I was little.
Cool.
Because my family, I have family in West Virginia, but I grew up in Pittsburgh. And anytime we would drive to West Virginia, my dad would play songs, and Carrying Your Love With Me would literally say West Virginia down to Tennessee.
Nice.
And I was like, I'm going to West Virginia right now. Like,
Yeah.
it just cracked me up.
Love it.
And then I ended up going to Tennessee. So that for me has always like been stuck in my head.
Yeah.
And I can definitely vibe with that.
God, I mean, the Welcome to LA songs are like that feeling, because LA is so exciting when you first get there.
When you first move there, like
Yeah.
I remember I didn't have a car. I wasn't supposed to be moving there,
You
like
have a
at
car
all.
in LA.
So okay, here's what happened.
Girl.
You're gonna laugh. I don't think I've ever told you that. So I was just recently off the Plain White Tees tour, and I had just worked with like Emil Gontos on like my EP that came out, and I did that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kind of just ended up going back to Pittsburgh. And after that, it was just like such a whirlwind. And then I was just kind of like sitting. And I just remember thinking, what is going to happen? Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, no one's really communicating with me. I don't know. Like, I'm working on more music, but like, I don't know if anybody else is on board with me. Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
So I was getting really antsy. And I had a manager at the time that was like, I want you to go out to LA and write with like these people. And I was like, great, I would love to do that. And I had been to LA so many times, and it just like filled me with such joy, and like it was just excitement, and I just felt like the place I needed to be. It felt like home almost. Like I wasn't scared of it at all. I was like, this is where I want to be.
Yeah.
And then I get there to these rights, and I end up meeting Melanie Fontana in one of these rights, and shout out Mel. But literally, we were like vibing on all of these songs, and she was
see
like,
you guys getting along really well.
Totally, she's just fun. She's just a great person.
Fun.
But we literally were writing, and everything was coming out so quickly and easily and whatever, and we were just like totally vibing. And I ended up hanging out with her like outside of the studio, and she was like, why are you not just moving here? And I was like, you're right, I should just move here. And I literally went on who was I went on
No, this is it.
like Craigslist, and I was like, who's looking for a roommate in the cheapest possible place?
Yeah.
And I ended up in NoHo with this like random stranger living in a 1-bedroom apartment with this person.
Yes.
And I called my mom at the end of the week, and I was like, so I didn't get on the plane. Could you possibly send my car to me?
Oh.
And she was like, I knew you were going to do this to me.
Your mom's like, what? Yeah.
But I love her so much. She absolutely did.
Wow.
She sent my car to me.
Baby.
Actually, my dad drove my car across country with my uncle to me, but I had no car in LA for like 2 months.
It's tough.
But actually, I think it helped me because I was right in like the downtown part of NoHo.
Okay, so you're good.
So I was just walking around. I found a job at a coffee shop called Republic of Pie.
Yes, of course.
I was like vibing there. I was just walking back and forth. I was going to the park and exercising every day. Like I just really like was thriving, and it made me like this big city. It made it feel like more doable because I was just like, this is a safe space. Like I know where things are here.
Yeah.
And it was funny because once I did that though, I never went back, and I was there for 6 years. Like
leave it to Melanie Fontana to
girl,
be your little pusher.
She absolutely is a
shout
pusher.
out Melanie. No, we love Melanie.
Truly. Like, but I love it. She just like made it feel like, yeah, like just do it. And I was like, I will.
I love that. I love that. I mean, that's why I like Melanie for that reason. She's very like, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
That's the kind of energy I like, is that anything is possible.
Yeah.
If you haven't done that in your life, these are the kind of people I fuck with. The people that will like make these Hail Marys or these grand decisions for their life with, it's a leap of faith.
It is.
You know, it really
it's huge.
Yeah. And it's a testament to your character and like you being in tune with yourself. You guys.
Girl. I love it so much.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Good for you. That's awesome.
Definitely an interesting time, and it definitely wasn't like easy. There was struggle.
No.
Like I lived in my car for a couple months. Like it was not a good time. But
you lived in the car.
Oh yeah.
Oh honey. Oh my God.
I did. I actually think that was around the time that I was in the studio writing with you. Like I don't think anybody knew.
God.
Like I didn't want to tell anybody.
If you told me, I would have had you stay with me.
But like imagine you're like in these rooms that you finally want to be in, and you're like writing your little butt off.
Are you kidding me?
And you're like, you don't want to be like, yeah, I showered at the gym today. I ate food from work that was old, and then I came here, and I'm gonna park on this street and like maybe sleep on my friend's couch. Like
it's not sexy. The hustle is not sexy.
No.
So I left when I was interning at Interscope when I first got to LA, just to like meet people.
Yeah.
And there was a come to Jesus of like, nobody's taking me seriously because I'm getting everybody's mail.
Yeah.
and answering the phones. I like hung up the phone on Christina Aguilera's manager on accident, and that was like a big thing.
No.
Right. So when she was my first Grammy nomination, I was like, thank you, Jesus, for loving me through everything.
You were
It
like,
was
this
crazy.
is full circle right
yes,
now.
it was wild.
Yeah.
Because I got in a lot of trouble for that, for accidentally hanging up the phone. But I was like, this is obviously like not going anywhere for me.
Yeah.
Like nobody is taking me seriously here, and I need people to see me as like a creative.
Yeah.
So I left Interscope and went and waited tables at this really touristy joint in Malibu, which became my community, and I love it so much. Duke's in Malibu. I wore a little hula skirt around my waist every day, and we were grinding, making like $300, $400 a day off of these tourists. So it was amazing. And those girls are still my best friends. But I remember my first table was my boss at Interscope.
No.
And I didn't know if he was trolling me.
Listen.
But I was like,
that's like a little bit too.
Yeah, no, but I don't think he
On the
was.
nose.
I think he just came on accident, to be honest, because there's no way he would have known my schedule.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I was so humiliated. Like I went to the side station and told my friend to like go take the table for me. But it was the only table in the restaurant. So I like went upstairs and like hid for like, and I like was like, I have to make a phone call. But I hid, and then finally I walked out and he was still there. So I had to walk out and be like, hi. And it was mortifying.
There are so many moments like that where you just really out there have to pull yourself together and be like, this is
no, and
embarrassing and crazy. Like
I was so young. So I was so embarrassed by it. But I look back now and it's like that's something to be so respected.
Absolutely.
That I like, here I am, I just left college, double majored, top of my class, and I'm like interning at the labels with a business marketing degree. And I said no to go and tie a hula skirt around my waist and make myself, get treated like shit for 4 years while I hustled my first publishing deal. Like,
absolutely.
I look back and I'm like, that girl's awesome.
She is.
And that's who I'm going to be at like every stage of my life if I ever have to start over. So I shouldn't have been embarrassed, but I was.
That is
at the time.
Honestly phenomenal. I love that story so much because
Yeah.
that is like the quintessential, like I worked my way to this spot even though I could have taken any other route.
Yeah.
And you took the harder route.
Because guess what? One of those times I went upstairs, I wasn't hiding. I was going upstairs to take a phone call that Lil Wayne had just cut a verse on my song.
Yep, exactly.
So I was doing something right.
Full circle.
Yeah.
Girl. Oh my God, that's amazing. That's beautiful.
Crazy.
I feel like, okay, I do have one of those stories I feel like you're going to appreciate.
Okay.
So like I
know you do.
I waited tables at Blue Jam Cafe for like a long time.
Yeah.
And lots of people would come in and out of there. And I had just worked with a few of my friends on, we were sent like a Scott Storch track.
Shout out Scott Storch.
Yeah,
Let's go.
honestly. And we both, or like all three of us wrote this song on it and he really liked it. And I was like, that's awesome. So I got to go in and like play it for him and do the whole thing.
Nice.
And he was like super cool in the studio and whatever. And literally, like, I'm not joking you, 2 days later, I'm waiting tables at Blue Jam.
Yeah.
And he sits right at my table.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to throw up right now because I now have to walk over there.
Yeah.
The person who just finally got into this space.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it didn't matter in the end, but like that doesn't feel good, especially when you're young and you're like, oh, I'm finally kicking the doors down. And you're just like, what can I get for you? How do you want your eggs? Like,
yeah. How was it? How was the interaction?
I don't know that he even remembered me.
Yeah.
I'm sure he meets a lot of people.
100%. That's exactly what probably happened.
I think he was focused on the lovely girl in front of him.
Yes.
Which is fine. I'm not even sure we really fully made eye contact, but in my head I was screaming.
Right. It's more those moments are more mortifying for us.
Exactly.
And I'm sure, I don't know what my boss was thinking. He might have been like, wow, this is really great.
He might have been like, wow, she chose her path and I respect that.
Yeah. And I think that people like they appreciate hard work.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that walk into this industry with just money
Mm-hmm.
and they can afford to spend years grinding.
Yeah.
And some of us don't.
Yeah.
And it's to be respected. And I mean, everybody has their way and it's amazing any way you get it in this business.
Because even when you do have money, it's still hard.
There's issues. Yeah. Of course. You have to be talented and you have to work hard.
Yep.
But I think people look at doing it, I always call it the Coyote Ugly way. Doing it that way is like, oh, you really got it out the mud for yourself.
Absolutely.
It's great.
Yeah. It feels good too when you get those wins and you're just like, I did this from scratch.
Tears. And my apron is framed with my Grammy medal in my house.
Yes.
Right next to, and I still keep my apron. It still has ink stains like all over it. I keep it by my, before I framed it was by my bedside table.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I need you to like send me pictures. Like, this is what it is.
Yeah, it's in the frame now, but
that's the reality of it though, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reality of it.
Yep. Just a reminder.
Yeah. Okay, I really want to talk about we were talking
more questions.
I know. I'm like I have all the questions. I could talk to you literally all day.
Yeah.
You're so easy to talk. Very much
it's
a conversationalist.
Sunday. It's the Lord's Day, honey. Like we can do this all day. My best friend just texted me. I need to make sure she's okay.
I'm going to take a coffee sip break.
Quick little intermission.
Yeah. Just let it happen.
Yeah.
Recess. Take a quick recess.
I wonder like how effective it is.
I feel like I feel a pretty immediate calm.
I do too, but is that placebo?
Maybe.
I also drink non-alcoholic beers, and I'm like, I'm drunk.
I like non-alcoholic wines a lot, actually.
I just had one.
I've been waiting. I really want one to sponsor us because I would drink non-alcoholic wines on the show. I would.
Which ones do you like? Do you have ones you like?
So I can't remember the name of the one that is my favorite, but I think it starts with an L. But it's like, I don't really love sweet.
Me neither.
So it's very dry. And I was like, it's like
I like that.
Dry red, dry white.
Where'd you have it?
I actually had it at my friend Conway, who was actually on this podcast. She had a mindfulness night, and it was so cool. Like she brought in so many different women that were like just absolutely crushing it.
Awesome.
And we all just sat around and we had the non-alcoholic wine, and I will find out for you from her because it was so good. It was so good.
I had one the other night. I think it was at Soho House. It was $20.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
$20 for like no alcohol. I can't do that. That's like insane to me. I don't care how much.
I do think that the price should be lower for non-alcoholic beverages.
Like $20 for a non-alcoholic. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
And it was gone in like 2 seconds.
Oh God.
But I'm into non-alcoholic beers and wines because I just love the taste.
I do too, and I'm like so used to it now that it's more of like I think the placebo effect really does work. I do sometimes, more than I probably would like to, if I'm being honest. But it's definitely something that I cut back on more and more every time.
It's everybody's story. I don't think you're alone.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not. And it's weird because I feel like when you're being social and you're constantly out like networking and stuff, there are days where I'm like, I absolutely cannot be here right now. In the state that I'm in. You know what I mean? Like, which is just like feeling stressed out, feeling like I work this job and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and I'm just like, oh my God, I am so stressed out. I want to come see my friend perform, but I'm tired, and maybe a glass of wine would be great.
Nothing wrong with that.
That's kind of where I'm at in my life.
And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. But I would I think the clear mindedness is becoming more and more important to me as the days go on.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. But I really do want to talk about, I know you were talking about there are a lot of songs that like you love that you've been a part of, but there are like ones that you're just like extra proud of.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give me some of those songs where you're just like, I am so in love with this song that I've written and I want people to go listen to them right away?
Yeah, there's definitely like a few that just have my heart forever. Just because of how they were written.
Yeah.
The one that comes to mind, that always comes to mind, is the most meaningful song I've ever been a part of, is The Hard Way with Celine Dion. And I wrote it with my friend Harlow and Greg Wells in France. At this like camp that Greg,
in France.
Yeah, at a castle in France. It was insane. Yeah, Greg Wells he's a huge producer, super talented. He used to throw a writing camp out there for like 15, 20 writers. And I went a couple years out there. And so that was one of the songs from the camp. And it was just amazing. Like, it was just iconic. Like, the room we were writing it in, who I was writing it with, like Jessica Harlow. She, that was really like, we really connected over that song, and we've been friends for like 8 years, and she's, like a sister to me. But I was going through a lot. I was on the heels of a really nasty relationship. And it just healed me in a way that I didn't realize I needed.
Yeah.
So that will always have my heart. And then I was like, at the end of the session, I was like, Celine Dion should sing this, thinking that wasn't a possibility.
Right. Because
she had just lost her husband.
Yeah.
And so I was like, we should send this to Celine Dion. But I just said it like almost in jest.
Yeah.
Because why would that ever happen? Like,
honestly, that is kind of like, when I saw that come out for you, I was like, I think I cried. I was like, crazy. Girl.
I know.
Like,
yeah.
yes.
And Greg was like, yeah, I can send it to her A&R. And I was like, who's what?
If you don't say it,
yeah,
it's totally not going to happen.
And then he hit back right away and she cut it with Greg. And when that came out, I was like, this is crazy. It was amazing.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what that would feel like to have that person be like, yes, I will cut your song.
Yeah. Oh, God. I mean, it was insane. So that one, and then I have a song that I did with my boy Ito. He and I wrote this song called Happiness.
Yeah.
Also on the heels of like a really just dark time. I think probably the same time. And I went to New York for a writing trip, and I was in my hotel the night before I was supposed to work with Ito. And I just started singing this like hook idea to myself about how you have to like give up things for your pursuit of happiness. And it was wild. And then the next day I brought the chorus to him and we wrote the song, and it ended up getting cut by a group called Need to Breathe, which is like a big Christian rock band.
Absolutely.
I wasn't really familiar with them at the time, but that song has circled back to me. Like people have come up to me and been like, you wrote Happiness. Like that time in my career, I was very detached from the wins. Like Spotify and being on New Music Friday was kind of a new thing.
Yeah.
And I just was trying to make it. I was just trying to get placements, but I wasn't really focused on like accolades or how well anything was doing.
Yeah.
Because no one was really telling me.
Yeah.
Like no one was really, I didn't really know where to look and whatever, but these songs were doing well. Like I didn't realize how successful that song was until I saw my bank statement from
you were like,
and the syncs that it got and how much appeal Need to Breathe had.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a cool song because it started literally from just like, I mean, so scratch.
Yeah.
And then turned into this moment. And it's one of my favorite songs I've ever written.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Need to Breathe is great. Honestly.
Love them.
So great.
Love them.
Yeah. I think I just recently happened upon them and was like, heck yeah. I didn't even know that you had a song with them. So that's even better.
Yeah.
Like amazing.
They're great. And they took zero publishing on the song or a very small amount, which was, I always respect that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They are
so cool.
Real ones.
Man,
yeah.
I love to hear things like that. You hear so much bad. I just love to hear the good, you know?
Me too.
Just like the wholesome.
Why can't it all be good?
It can if you make, no, I'm kidding. Yeah. Okay. And then I know you I love BB Rexa. I know that you wrote something for her. I'm like, can you tell me a little bit more about that song?
Yeah. So the song's called I Am.
Yeah.
It was an idea that BB had started in another session with a writer named Maya.
Yeah.
And BB brought it to me, and it's kind of like bare bones form. And I was like, this is wild. Like, this could really be something.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm really honored that she asked me to be involved in it. And we kind of hashed out the chorus and the lyrics. And, but it was her concept.
Yeah.
And BB's really powerful. You know, she's a really big energy, but I also knew that like if we could nail it, like her voice on a record like this would really like stop traffic.
Yeah.
So it was a labor of love. There was many sessions for that song. I think we worked on that song for about 6 months to a year before it finally got on the album. It's just a great record. Yeah. It's really about just like standing in your power and just defining and redefining who you are as a person.
I love that so many of your songs like are so meaningful. Like you write pop music, but you write multiple genres.
Some
but,
of
like,
them aren't.
No, I know. And like we've all written those, but like so many of your successful songs like really mean something.
Yeah.
And I really love that, and that you were able to really push that forward and be like, hey, like these songs, like I'm proud of these.
Totally.
And like they mean a lot to other people too. So
Including I Am the Strip Club by Iggy Azalea.
that's right.
Autobiographical, it means a lot. That song was an era in and of itself for me, but
Girl, I love that song. That is like a I'm getting ready song, and
that song got me into
need to
trouble.
be-
That song got me. I attracted some weird situations from that song.
Oh no.
But yeah, no, that was a high energy summer. That was awesome.
Oh my god. You wrote one for Zara Larson too that
Yes.
I didn't know you wrote, and it was already saved onto my like
Oh my
playlist
God.
of just
Cool.
like jams that I love, and like all of a sudden you like something on your Instagram popped up, and I was like, she would have written this. Like,
Sick.
I was so
Sick.
pumped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love
it's
Zara.
So good.
That's like my vibe. I feel
Yeah.
is like that kind of like, that's my sweet spot. It's kind of like the Love You Different
Yeah.
Justin song and Zara, Don't Worry About Me.
Mhm.
Kind of like the,
Like, don't worry about me. And I'm like, oh.
yeah, just like chill and rhythmic, and, you know, fusing different genres together is that's my vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you when you feel your most authentic.
Ooh.
It doesn't have to be music related, but if it is, that's great too.
Yeah. I think I feel my most authentic when I travel.
Yeah.
My publisher asked me where I feel the most at home once, and I said it on an airplane,
Yeah.
which is weird, but I don't know. I feel at home and most myself whenever I feel like anything is possible.
Yeah.
And it's usually when I'm like going somewhere or
Yeah.
about to like experience something new.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm like such a dreamer, like
Yeah.
at heart.
I
So,
love that.
Yeah.
That's such a good answer.
We're trying to rewire right now. Like we're trying to make
Yeah.
it most authentic when I'm at home and most authentic
Yeah.
when I'm doing less.
I get that, but I mean, it's
hard.
there are people who just are travelers. Like I really love when I'm on like a tour bus, or I just did like a show in Virginia, and it was just like with a bunch of strangers like who are now friends, which is awesome. But like we were going somewhere, like you said, and we were about
Yeah.
to have a new experience, and that is such an amazing thing. And
It's
some people
exciting.
love that, you know, and I don't know that you can get rid of that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm like, I have tried. You cannot.
you really can't. Like 30,000 feet above
Yeah.
in an airplane is really my vibe.
Yeah.
It's really just, I love it.
She's a bougie vibe.
I mean, if the coat didn't tell you.
If the coat didn't tell you,
No.
she feels home on an airplane, people.
I do.
No, I love that so much.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what is a lyric that you have like misheard and thought for a while that was the lyric, and then you found out that it wasn't? Do you have one of those?
All of them.
Yeah.
All of them. I am the worst with lyrics.
Yeah.
I was at a Drake concert last week.
Yeah.
Here, and I know these songs like the back of my hand, and I'm just like going for it. Not a single word was correct, and I was just like, how do I not know these lyrics? My brain is not. I don't catalog brain lyrics like other
Your
people.
brain is wired to write new lyrics, not remember old ones.
You said it, not me.
That's right.
Yeah.
You can't keep them all in because then you wouldn't have any room for the new one.
But even songs I write, like, I'd probably get the lyrics wrong.
Mhm.
Like, if I don't have, even when I'm singing a song I wrote, I need the lyrics right in front of me.
Yeah.
Or else that shit's just going to be
Truly.
mumble.
The amount of times I've been on stage and I've been like, what is that lyric? And it's
Yeah.
my own song. And people
Ooh.
look at me like I'm a crazy person. And
What do
I'm
you
like,
do?
I make up my own words if I don't remember them like the 5 seconds before. And I'm like, whatever, it's my song. I can change it. If I
Yeah.
want to.
Or just hand the mic back to the audience like they know it.
Yeah, we're all just human beings. We're
Yeah.
not perfect. We're not
No,
robots.
That's great. Shit. I mean, maybe that's one of the reasons I like couldn't make it or didn't want to make it as an artist. Like,
You were like, I can't remember.
But I knew there was something wasn't
Yeah.
in tune.
That's
my
so
God.
funny. Yeah.
I said in tune again, by the way.
It's so funny because I've realized that I didn't know how much I've said it like on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And then people have been noticing that too. And I'm like, that is so fun to me. Like people
Yeah.
just
You
find
named it the
themselves
right
saying
thing.
it. Yeah. We went through a lot of working titles, me and Antonio.
You did? What were the other ones?
Honestly, I don't even think I can remember them at this point, but there was like a page this long and we would meet at like the Starbucks down the street and kind of discuss like what we wanted to do with it and what we wanted to talk about and all of these things. And we had a very clear picture, but I could not get the titles together. Yeah. And finally, I think I did something like, oh, you tune in to something. And then I was like, oh, flip it.
It's genius.
And I think that's kind of, that's how that happened. So
does this light up?
It used to. I cut the cord because we used it for an event. And then I didn't really want the cord to be like in it. So I'm going to get another one for events and leave this one hanging.
I like it. I love a neon sign.
Me too.
I really do.
Yeah. Okay. So second to last question. Who is a creative, like an artist, producer, songwriter, somebody that you feel like really needs a shout out, like people really need to know about them that like maybe aren't being heard as much right now?
Aren't being heard. I feel like
or like are but need more. You know,
more. I mean, I'm always gonna give flowers to the people that I just find super talented that I work with.
Yeah.
Which are like, there's so many.
Yeah, I mean, you can rattle off more than one. Like,
honestly, like to me, like songwriters they're the most incredible.
Yeah.
Of the bunch.
Yeah.
I mean, last year I would have told you Victoria Monet, but that happened.
She's amazing.
Yeah. I think
oh my God.
Like artist wise, like I'm really excited to see what Teddy Swims is about to do. Because he has such a great platform.
So excited about him.
Yeah.
Like that man
awesome.
His crowd is growing very rapidly.
I saw him at the Ryman here in the fall. And he was performing a song that we had written on his last EP. And it was like, first of all, the Ryman was awesome. But then seeing his effect on the crowd, I was like, oh, he has an appeal that you see, I think, once in a while.
I
Like
agree.
that Post Malone appeal where it's just, he's got it. And so I'm excited to see what he's gonna do, I think, this next year.
For sure.
Creative wise, like songwriter wise, I mean, since I've been in Nashville, let's see, somebody I just kind of began working with is Mickey Echo.
Okay.
And he's incredible. He was on Rihanna's Stay.
Yeah.
But now he's doing a lot of writing and he's amazing.
Yeah.
God, who else? Back in LA. I mean, a lot of like great female, like newer female songwriters that I just really think are great. My girl Felly, she's awesome. She's just grinding and working so hard and she's so talented. So it's so cool to see her kind of come up.
Yeah.
Jay Stevens is also like a young songwriter who's super talented. She just got signed as an artist, but she's bubbling. I'd like to see her get some shine.
Yeah.
She's like my little sister. There's so many. So many, but
that's amazing. Like those are good people to shout for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so many people, I was just telling, like, even my mom, like, all of these people like that come on here and they shout out other artists, and my mom's like, those are my new favorite artists. Like, I didn't even know that they existed. So I just love bringing that to the forefront and being like, hey, check out this songwriter, check out this producer, check out that, like, things that this person does, like, just to throw it out there so that people aren't just listening to like always the same things and just like maybe hearing things that are, you know, on the horizon that they maybe didn't know about before.
Well, I think people know about Teddy, but I just feel
for sure
I just have a feeling that it's gonna go from like the platform is going to grow exponentially with this next project.
Well, it's interesting because like Teddy was like the guy that you could like catch at like the shows of your friends and like the bars and things like that. He still is. But like, because you see him around and stuff, and like I have like friends that are good friends with him, friends that work with him, things like that. And then I'll just be like, all of a sudden, like he's just this thing, and like everybody's talking about him, and it's like so well deserved. And I love when people who genuinely truly deserve it like start to really blossom and take off. And they're just down to earth people. That's so cool.
He's the sweetest,
the best. Yeah.
We love it.
Yeah.
Love to see it.
You love to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the last question, most important question.
Oh, I don't know
What's
about this one.
in the works for Whitney Phillips?
Oh.
And where can we find any, I mean, like pretty much they can find all of your stuff everywere, but what isn't, like, what do you have coming up that you can talk about that you're excited about?
Nothing.
It's all under wraps.
I've been working on a lot of stuff and then have some other things outside of music that are about to happen that I'm excited about. But I think, like, for me, if I'm being real with you, I think right now, like, I'm in a huge, like, personal development phase.
Yeah.
I feel like I worked my ass off for a good while. I'm still doing that, but, like, my focus is, what's good for me is good for my career.
Yeah.
So I just made this move, very happy about it.
Yeah.
But still sussing it out and just trying to, like, I don't know, just kind of set myself up for the life that I really, really deserve and want for myself.
Yeah.
So that's where, like, most of my energy is going towards.
I love that.
I'd say.
I mean, this podcast is about music and mindfulness, so
Had to do it.
You had to do it.
Had to do it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do notice, like, a lot of the things that you've always posted about have always been, like, a little bit of music, a little bit of life, and I think that's always really cool.
Yeah.
And you really do, like, focus on taking care of yourself, and that's, like, immediately, like, I had you in the forefront of my mind. Even when I was kind of, like, starting all of this, I was like, who do I know that's just, like, a badass and it's just, like, awesome at juggling both things? And you were definitely, like, you can ask Antonio. When we wrote, like, a list of people, I was like, yeah, these people are really awesome. And it was, like, a long list, but I was like, you were on it. And I remember being like, I would love to get her, but she's in LA. And literally you moved here and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I have to break.
I had a feeling when you hit me up, I was like, I need to go do her podcast.
Yes.
Like, I really, because it's been a good while
I know.
since I'd seen you.
I know.
And I really haven't done any podcasts, like, in, like, a year. I was like, I need to,
Yeah.
like, I've just been doing shit, like, moving and, like, there's been a lot to sort, but this was cool. I'm glad that I did it and stopped by and saw you
Oh my
and
goodness,
supported what you're
yes.
doing here.
Thank you so
Cool.
much. It really is appreciated. We're so happy to have you on. And I'm just, like, honestly so enthused for everything that you have already done and that you have to come. Like, I know it's always going to just be amazing. So
Yeah. Thanks, girl.
Thank you for shining your light here. And I appreciate you so much.
You too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to In Tune with Allison Park. We will see you next week.
I am forever changing.